Welcome back, everyone, and guys, I think I've got it. 150 yards. You guys, like, it's crazy shooting this far. Like, my heartbeat will literally move the 150-yard dot off of the plate. We're gonna bomb some arrows, so stay tuned. All right, you guys, before we start shooting, I just want to talk setup a little bit here because I didn't really do that in that 140-yard video. I couldn't get another 10 yards out of it. Was just where my fence is going back into my woods. What I was doing is I was taking this tree out of my shot equation. So these branches were basically in the way where I couldn't put a target down my four-wheeler trail. Branches were just a little too low. What I did is I trimmed up those branches. So I just got my pole saw out and the snippers and stuff. I trimmed them up at least to where I think I should be good shooting, basically, you know, hopefully the arrow drops underneath this tree and gets back to that 150-yard spot. All right, here's another perspective for you guys. So I'm standing at the 150-yard mark here on my four-wheeler trail, and we're gonna be shooting from right in front of where my electricity comes in by that power pole there in my driveway. And these are the branches that I'm talking about that I had to trim up. So this angle here now, so where those branches basically were kind of starting to overhang where I thought they might affect the shot, is about 20 yards from where I'm standing. And when I'm back there, my entire bag target is taken up by like the 150-yard dot, and then the next dot up, the 145. That spacing is the whole bag, so that's 2 feet. And with this being 20 yards in front, I was kind of figuring every 5 yards was another 2 feet. So I needed to get these branches, with this being 20 yards, you know, in front of where the target's going to be. I figured I need to at least trim them up 8 feet to make sure I clear them. And I definitely got that now. Those are probably 10 or 12 feet. So we should be good. Now that you've seen kind of the backyard 150-yard range there, I wanted to take a minute and talk just the bow, optics, arrow setup. So let's start with the bow. This is the Killer Instinct SWAT X1, and it's completely stock. With the exception of optics. So I haven't done anything else to the crossbow with the exception of putting Killer Instinct's basically premium optics package on here. So this is Killer Instinct's Maxview-MV36. So it's a 2-to-7 power optic. It's a speed ring style one, so you can calibrate the ballistic aiming points inside the reticle to the speed of your crossbow. And it has aiming points from 20 all the way out to 150 yards, which is why we're doing this test. I have to see if that 150-yard dot, that very last dot in the reticle, you know, is on. As far as arrows go, if you've watched any of our other videos, you guys know I'm a big fan of the Sirius Phoenix and just Sirius products in general. The Sirius Phoenix is the best crossbow arrow shaft that I have shot. I have not shot all of them, but it's definitely the standout as far as the ones that I have shot. And this is a 20-inch arrow. It's got a 110 grain insert in it. That seems to work really well with a 150 grain point. So 260 grains total up front. That is a setup that I've shot on multiple shafts, and it just seems to work really, really well. But we've got that fletched with 3-inch Q2I Fusion X2 vanes, and they are fletched at a 1 degree helical. 1 degree seems to be the most helical I can put, at least on a 3-inch vane, that will still work in the AccuTac barrel system of this SWAT X1 without rubbing on the sides. And the nocks are just a standard half moon knock that came with the Phoenix arrow. But we will probably shoot some lighted nocks just because I think that's going to help not only me see the arrow flying, but also hopefully you guys be able to see it. And the half moon nocks, lighted nocks that I've been shooting for a little while now, these are nothing fancy at all. These cheap Amazon ones have worked really well for me, both in a hunting application and just shooting, but they are a little bit heavier, as most lighted nocks are. They're about 15 grains heavier, so we'll see how that plays with our accuracy here as we shoot down range. So guys, I'm gonna be shooting just out of a lawn chair from a sitting position using a Bog Death Grip tripod. And then just to kind of wrap up before we start shooting, this is all just for fun, you guys. This is not at all a distance that I think I would ever consider shooting at an animal. I think you guys would all agree this is not a hunting application demonstration, purely just for fun to test the gear that I've got here on the table. So that's all I got. Enough yapping. Let's send them and see how we do at 150. Here's what we're shooting for. We're going for the paper plate. I just put a piece of tape on there just to give me something even smaller to aim at. I just got the block on top in case I miss high or in case one hits the ground and decides to skip. This trail is pretty beat down, so just something extra to stop it. But hopefully we don't miss, because if we do, Sirius Phoenix arrow is gone. All right, guys, not bad. I mean, not as great as I would have liked it to be, but a little high. Hey, we kept both arrows. We didn't lose anything, so that's a plus. So I think what I'm going to do here, we're going to do two things. And hopefully this doesn't bite us in the butt here, kind of changing two variables at the same time. But first thing we're going to do, I'm going to make a minor scope adjustment. I'm going to turn the speed up just a touch on my speed ring and see if that brings the point of impact down just a little bit for me. And then the other thing I'm going to do, not only for you guys so you can hopefully see the arrow fly a little better, but also for me to be able to see the arrow fly a little better, I'm going to put a lighted knock on one of these. And that lighted knock is heavier, probably going to hit, hopefully, a little bit lower than the one with just a regular knock. Because we're shooting high and because I'm making a really minor scope adjustment, I think it's going to be okay. So that's the game plan for round two. All right, you guys, we center punched one. That was sweet. And the lighted knock, obviously, it was a little lower, just kind of like I thought it would be. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna aim. I really don't want to mess with my scope too much. That felt pretty good. I'm just gonna aim a little bit higher, and we're gonna shoot again and see if we can drop one with a lighted knock down onto that plate. All right, well, we're walking up the target here. Let's talk real quick. So I'm only shooting the one shot here on the third round, just because it's getting hard to see that target down there tucked back in the woods. Even with my reticle illuminated, it's just getting a little tricky for me to see, but I think I hit it on that shot. And you guys, like, it's crazy shooting this far. Not only the holdover, but like literally, I mean, I'm nervous shooting these shots. I do not want to lose an arrow. So my heart's sitting there beating, and if I'm not like calmed down, if I'm not really, tucked in nice and tight up on that crossbow, like my heartbeat will literally move the 150-yard dot off of the plate. Like, that's how much, how little margin for error I have shooting these shots. And I am by no means a expert marksman or anything like that. Like, it's really fun shooting these, but it's also nerve-wracking just with the fact that your heartbeat can move your point of impact a whole paper plate. But let's go check this out and see. Oh man, are you guys gonna give me that one? You gotta be kidding me. Is that touching the plate? Tell me it's touching the plate. All right, I hope you guys give me that one. That is literally as close as I can get to hitting that plate without hitting it. look at that. It's about 1/8 of an inch off. Dang. Oh well, not bad. Still not bad. I apologize, you guys. I just put the targets back in my barn, but I walked back out here and I wanted to film this. So they were down there, down my four-wheeler trail that you can see is getting really dark. But I just wanted to show you another perspective as far as how much holdover I had. So me aiming at a target there with my 150-yard dot inside the scope reticle, that is where the center of the scope was. That's where the 20-yard dot was, that clump of branches up there. And I was trying to sit back there and kind of gauge or measure how high that would be, like using my T-post and stuff like that. I was just struggling to do it. But basically halfway up that tree, that clump of branches is where the center of the scope was. And I'm gonna say, me just standing here, and this is me just spitballing, but I'm gonna say 30 feet. I'm just trying to picture what a 15-foot ladder stand would look like in this tree, and then I'm thinking it's like double that. So something like that as far as holdover goes for shooting 150 yards. All right, you guys, there you go. There's our 150-yard test. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and let me know if you're gonna give me that 1/8 of an inch. I gave it to myself. I went ahead and Sharpied a dot on there and gave myself that 1/8 of an inch handicap. So let me know if you're gonna give it to me too. Even if you don't, you guys, the fact that we were on that bag and are on our targets every time, we made a scope adjustment, it worked, and I mean, we center punched this paper plate, if you wanna call it one time, at 150 yards. Like I cannot complain about that. So the fact that I can do that with this equipment here on the table, shooting off of a lawn chair with a tripod, like it is not the most ideal shooting setup, but this package right here, as far as bow, optics, and arrows go, I mean, hopefully this showed you guys, you know, how much these particular products just shine, at least in my opinion. I love this SWAT X1. I've hunted with it for a while now. It's a great hunting crossbow too. It's not just one for long range shooting. I mean, its compact design, its accuracy, all of that play into effect really well. I'm really impressed with the Maxview-MV36. The fact that those ballistic dots were basically dead on all the way out to 150 yards is special for a speed ring style optic. And then I can't say enough about the Sirius Phoenix arrows. They are an extremely consistent arrow shaft that I absolutely love. So hopefully you guys, this stuff shined for you, and is something that you guys would consider hunting with, because all of this stuff I really like, and it was really fun doing this demonstration for you guys. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys soon on the next video. Take care, God bless, and remember, be a sportsman, make a sportsman.